Hey guys, I figured it's been a while since I've done a video, so I should do another one. So I'm going to cover the 99 to 02 cluster, just talking about its common problems, show you some stuff. So I'm not actually going to do a tear down and rebuild of this one. I've actually already redone everything on this one, but while I was working on it, I was like, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a video, so let's do another one. So first, most common problem is the VFD goes out. Oop, there we go, VFD goes out. And what causes it are these resistors. They just get cold solder joints, they crack, they melt, fall off the board, all sorts of stuff there. The one that was actually in my truck when I bought it, they were melted off the board. Most of the ones that I see that I work on, they're just cold solder joints that crack. So yep, that's the most common problem, and most common way people fix it is they just kind of flip over the board, pop it loose, just these little tabs right there, and kind of let it float there, hovering, and then just resolder while it's on the board. I don't like that. You'll actually, I used to do that, but, and you'll see in one of my old videos a clip of me working on, well, I was talking about how you can't do a trans temp swap as easily on this board as the 03 and up. So yeah, I was talking about that, and you'd have seen I had two of them just sitting there floating like that, and that was a darker time, let's say. But no, really, I just didn't realize that it bent them and they stayed that way. This is actually one of the two off of that video. I took it off the board because it was a parts board. It's hanging out up there now because it's just parts. I don't need it anymore. But yeah, took it off the board, and I realized what I had done to it and was like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. That's not going to be going on somebody else's board like that. So that's your most common problem. You see that all the time. Second most common problem are these air core motors. They're all different on there. Well, a couple of them are the same. You know, you got two C series, and then you got a V series, and you got a P series. The P series is your oil pressure gauge, and it is the most common one to go out from what I've seen. I don't know, maybe you've seen something else. You can comment down below and let me know what you've seen on these boards. But yeah, the P series, this one is the most problematic for me. There's another company out there that makes them that they have white tops instead of these yellow tops. They have a silicone gel in it that's supposed to not dry out like the oil that's in the originals. And obviously the bulbs burn out all the time, but you don't need a YouTube video for that. Alright. So then the other thing that's nice to be able to do is to reflash this board. Let me grab my tool. So here we go. That's what I use. I go cheap and old school. I use a Mini Pro, and then I use a DIP 8 to SOIC 8, and then I just desolder all 64 pins, take this guy off, get the hot air out, remove the EEPROM, which is that guy right there, and then drop it in here, put it in there, go read it on the computer, use a little bit of software that looks at the algorithm, tells you, well, you enter a number, and then it tells you the hex value to put on the board, and well, on the prom, and then you program it, take it out, get the hot air back out, heat it back up, put it back on there, and then just resolder all, I think it was 64 pins, I don't remember, I haven't counted them in a while. And I know there's an easier way to do it. Supposedly these can be adjusted through the OBD2. I've never tried that, but I do know, and I have seen, where you take a digiprog and you can hook it up to these little numbered spots on the board, and you can flash the prom directly. I've tried doing that with the Mini Pro. I probably mixed up a wire, I'm not sure, but I definitely killed a EEPROM, so I ordered replacements, which is nice. They are the, I guess you can't see them through the tape, but they are the, if I remember it, yeah, the 95020 EEPROM, made by ST. You can order these on eBay if you want. You can order them on Mauser if I'm not mistaken, so definitely nice to have. I had already had these handy before I fried it, so that was nice to have. That's definitely the hard way of changing mileage. The easiest way to do the mileage is to take your old board, slide it off, and then slide it into the new cluster. But I guess that's cheating, because you're not really changing the cluster mileage, you're just changing the housing that this is sitting in. But yep, and this one is one that I have done a mileage correction to, and just desoldered all of those. And the guy that brought this to me, he got it at the junkyard and did not realize that the previous owner did not like his seatbelt light being on, so he cut all the traces going to the seatbelt light. I guess he didn't like the light blinking on him, but he couldn't figure out how to, buckle up. So, safety first. Let's cut the light. I just noticed it while I was working on it, so I was like, I can fix that real quick. No extra charge, because I just do a flat rate anyway, so I just do flat rate rebuilds with no fix, no fee, so that way I'm not wasting people's time or money if I can't fix it. But yeah, I just figured I'd just kind of show you real quick the common problems. I've never seen EEPROM corrupted on here until I corrupted one myself. But yeah, that's not a common problem. It's really just that VFD and your air core motors for the gauges. And unfortunately, they're not stepper motors. They're not super easy to change. They're also a little more expensive. Just one thing to note, if you're thinking about getting into these as a hobby, I get these at the junkyard for $20 and rebuild them and sell them on Facebook. But yeah, these are like roughly $30 on eBay for one. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're trying to decide on what cluster to start on as a hobby. I do like these. A cluster that I like working on and I think looks good, but I can never sell. Oh, I don't see one sitting around. The Trailblazer clusters. I do a lot of them. Here's one over here. Yep. The Trailblazer here. It's decent little cluster, easy to work on, and well, that's about the same as working on an 04 Silverado. But yeah, those are kind of what I like to work on, and I'm definitely the only local that does these. The other two locals, well, there's one other guy in town, and then there's one guy about an hour north of here that works on these, but neither of them will work on this board. They both go, nope, can't be fixed, just go to the junkyard, get another one. But they can be fixed and it's pretty easy. So I just figured I'd just throw that video up there. It's been a while, and hopefully I'll get myself an actual tripod and start filming some more videos for you guys. I've just been real busy. I mean, as you can see, my workbench has changed a lot since the last video. So yeah, hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Bye.